Afternoon, everyone. I'm Dan Irvin, a proud member of the Illinois Prairie Community Foundation Board of Directors and the MC for today's virtual Philanthropy Celebration. Please feel free to send words of encouragement to our speakers today through that chat feature down at the bottom of your screen. We'll be monitoring that throughout the event. This is a day that IPCF sets aside to say thank you to our generous community for supporting the work of nonprofit organizations throughout our area, and to thank the staff and volunteers of those organizations for their commitment to build a strong, inclusive community. A broadly defined philanthropy is, well, the love of humanity. It's come to be recognized as initiatives created for the public good. Now, IPCF's vision is to create a healthy, vibrant, and sustainable community through engaged philanthropy and community knowledge and leadership. This morning, we held a workshop for nonprofits on the topic of building resilience and opportunities for innovation, sharing information on how local nonprofit organizations are weathering this new normal and how they're discovering new ways to succeed in a time when we're physically distancing ourselves. Now, shortly, you'll hear from 3 of our previous grant recipients, one of which is also a fund holder with IPCF, about what receiving a grant from IPCF has meant to their nonprofits. Also today, we're honoring our Philanthropists of the Year. And this year we're recognizing Susan Hoblit of Atlanta as the Philanthropist of the Year outside of the Twin Cities, and Arthur and Camille Taylor of Bloomington as Philanthropists of the Year for Bloomington Normal. This is the first year the foundation's awarding in 2 divisions, and we hope to continue recognizing philanthropy throughout our 4-county region in coming years. Susan Hoblit epitomizes the essential qualities to receive this recognition: outstanding civic responsibility, voluntary commitment of time, willingness to serve in leadership roles, the ability to involve others in philanthropic activity, and contributions of financial resources. As her nominator put it, Susan Hoblit has so well demonstrated the traits of being a wonderful philanthropist, deeply benefiting her hometown of Atlanta, and Logan County, and all of Central Illinois. Congratulations, Susan. Arthur and Camille Taylor also demonstrate the qualities of philanthropy through their willingness to serve in leadership roles and providing vision and involving others in philanthropic activity, and through their voluntary commitment of their time and treasures. Now, their nominator said, both Art and Camille have worked tirelessly as community builders and to bring the Black and white communities of Bloomington Normal together to understand and appreciate their neighbors of all racial and ethnic groups. Now, if we were doing this in person, we'd take a break to eat our delicious lunch right now, but instead, this year we'll move right along with an introduction by Greg Meyer, our Executive Director of the Illinois Prairie Community Foundation. Gregory?
Okay, thank you, Dan. In a minute, I want to share my thanks, but first I wanted to share something that 2 of the attendees here, Maya Gordon and Kathy Davis, have an appreciation for, and that's over the past year, we spent a great deal of time and effort to get recertified with the Council on Foundations with regard to national standards. And it might not seem like a big deal, but it is a really big deal because it's a kind of a very, very rigorous look at our policies and our procedures. Because here at the foundation, we don't have anything to sell. The only thing we have to sell is our trust, and the trust that folks have in us. And having the national standards certification and embodies that trust. I would like to thank Julie Emig as a member of our elected officials for the City of Bloomington Town Council or Council. I would like to thank board members Takesha Collins, Mark Jontry, Laura Kowalczyk, Sharon Mills, Mary Ann Sherman, Jeff Secord, Emily Vigneri. I don't know if Kat has joined us. I know Adrian Barr was here earlier. Kat Woods was here earlier. And, you know, it's not anything, none of this is possible without Michelle Evans and Linda Shepard, who run the office here. So Dan Irvin, I'd like to thank you as our MC, and Aaron Hayes as our board president, and introduce Aaron Hayes to you. So take it away, Aaron.
Thank you, Greg. I'd like to add my welcome to all of you for being with us today to celebrate local philanthropy. We want to thank the people who have helped make today's workshop and luncheon possible. Thank you to our grantors and community partners, State Farm Insurance Company, the Jerome Mirza Foundation, Central Illinois Regional Airport, Cox and Associates Attorneys at Law, Fox and Hound Salon and Day Spa, Heartland Bank and Trust, Donald M. Heinhold, Certified Public Accountants, Illinois Farm Bureau, Little Jules Learning Center, Middle Illini Credit Union, Northern Trust, PIP Printing, Renaissance Wealth Management with Jess Secord and Scott Davis, the Shirk Family Foundation, Striegel Knobloch and Company, Certified Public Accountants, Tarvin's Culligan Water, Westminster Village, WGLT Radio, and Drake Zimmerman and First Allied. These generous businesses and individuals provide much needed support to IPCF to help us continue the work of promoting local philanthropy. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Dan, I think.
Okay, thank you, Aaron and
Yep.
Craig. Each year, IPCF awards competitive grants through 2 cycles. Our Women to Women Giving Circle and Youth Engaged in Philanthropy groups award grants in the fall. And then general grants, Mirza Arts and Culture grants, and Sol Schulman Jewish Education and Life grants are awarded in the spring. These grants are made possible through generous donations from our fund holders and the community at large. So next, we will hear from Barbara Whiteman, who's director of the Living Well United Senior Center in LeRoy, and she'll share with us how the 2020 general grant is helping seniors in LeRoy and Ellsworth, Bellflower, Arrowsmith, and Saybrook build strong networks of care to help them age successfully in a rural, isolated area. Over to you, Barbara.
Thank you. Well, I just want to start by saying I feel very honored to be able to be here, and thank you for the gift that you generously gave. I'm struggling with doing this remotely. I would really rather give you a hug or bake you cookies would be ways that I would like to thank you. We are a nonprofit. We serve 5 rural communities in McLean County. And Dan listed those. We're all small communities and have not had anything that's senior specific. So this is a very exciting time for us. We converted a convenience center that was donated into the most beautiful little center for not just the seniors, because it's open to a lot of community events also. So what you funded for our center are the coolest weights. They're sand-filled weights that once, if they drop them, they won't hurt. We tried it, and you might think that that's not really a big deal to fund weights, but it's huge. We use these weights twice a week, and what they do for the seniors, we use them to build their strength. what you give them when you build physical strength is not just physical strength. You are giving them the opportunity to stay physically healthy enough to get their own groceries, put them in the cart, take them out of the cart, get them out of their car. You are allowing them to be physically fit enough to get up out of a chair, which is a really big deal, and maybe to get up from a fall, which we actually practice. So staying physically fit gives them what they really want, and that's to be able to stay in their own homes and in their own rural communities, where we're already a network of care, because some of these individuals have spent their entire lives in that same community and built these big networks that are already in place to take care of them. So ultimately, you are giving them their greatest desire through physical fitness, but your gift goes way beyond that also. Research shows that older adults who participate in programs like you're supporting at the Living Well United Center experience measurable improvements in physical, social, spiritual, emotional, mental, and economic well-being. You are doing all of that through your generous gift. But there's more. As if that isn't enough, you're sending a message to our seniors who right now are really struggling with isolation. You are sending the message that you're thinking about them, you care about them, and you're willing to invest in them. And that message is not lost on them. When we pick up those weights twice a week, we actually talk about it. And so they feel your care, your concern, your love for them. And so I want to just share how your generosity is actually being paid forward. We're multiplying it by giving back to the community. One of our seniors said just a couple weeks ago, "Oh, what a wonderful life I have." And you would think that would come after like some great adventure. What that came after is we stood out on the corner in front of our senior center, and we gave out 109 free pumpkin bars and hot cider from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on a Friday morning to people who were going to work. The people were thrilled to get it, and the seniors felt like they were able to do something. They were physically fit enough to do it, and they felt just the emotions of being able to care for others like you're caring for them. And I could go on for hours, but I only have a couple of minutes, so I promise I won't. I'm going to end with, what are we doing about this pandemic? This afternoon and tomorrow, we will be teaching how to use Zoom. And this is going to be a great feat for some of our rural seniors as we transition them for hopefully only 2 weeks. We have been live until now, but for the next 2 weeks, we are going to continue our virtual cooking classes. We will have our exercise classes. We'll be doing some activities. I'm putting together grab and goes like what you would do for your kids if you were going on a trip. So take something out of the bag each day. So you are giving so much to our seniors, and I would love if you could please ever come to LeRoy, Illinois. We're in the old Casey's building, and stop in and see these beautiful people and what you're providing for them, and save the date for May 1st, 2021. You are funding their senior prom, which gives them something to look forward to during this time. Thank you with all my heart. I'm not sure if I'm able to thank you enough without being able to hug you all, but thank you so much.
Thank you, Barbara. That's inspirational. It just the amazing work that's being done at the clinic. And it's also an area that's so easy for us to overlook in our community. So again, thank you. It's very inspirational. And now we're going to hear from Jodi Martin, who's the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Livingston County. And she'll tell us how the club joined with the Community Connections group of Chatsworth to offer a summer camp for high schoolers to learn leadership and entrepreneurial skills. So
Well,
take it away, Jodi.
thank you, Dan, and thank you to the Illinois Prairie Community Foundation. Many of the programs that we offer would not be possible without the support of our communities and specifically our foundations. Well, we love to serve youth throughout Livingston County and beyond, because actually this summer we were actually reached out to Tri-Point Schools, which is Ford County, so it's another county, and then we also serve kids in Chenoa, which is McLean County. So technically it's not just Livingston County, we do serve outside of our borders. But during 2020, when many organizations shut down their facility, Boys and Girls Club of Livingston County, we stayed open. We stayed open to serve essential youth workers, especially those that need us most. We had a little over 80 kids that were signed up at both of our sites in Fairbury and Pontiac. And obviously, just like everybody else, we pivoted to everything that we needed to do to provide services to youth to keep them safe during the pandemic. So one of the things that we thought, and I know Michelle was getting back and forth, is are you still going to be able to run your Building Future Leaders program? Well, back then we weren't sure what we were going to be run or what we were going to be able to do. But our board and our staff, we said, you know what, we're just going to move forward. We're going to stay to our mission. We're going to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. And how do we do that? We implement programs, and our 3 pillars are academic success, good character, and citizenship and healthy lifestyles. So when we really look at academic success, our Building Future Leaders program fit right in. And that is what we applied for the grant for. This was our 2nd year of actually implementing this program. Last year was a pilot. So here we are, a brand new program implementing and trying to serve during the pandemic. So we weren't sure how many kids. We had an original goal of 25 that we were going to allow to apply to the program. And then as we saw what the mitigation, where we were in the tiers, we realized we needed to keep it to 15. And we had already had like 18, but they were a group. So once they realized they couldn't go together, we ended up with 13 students that actually completed our Building Future Leaders program. So it was led by Leslie King. She is a John C. Maxwell certified business coach and speaker. Now think back when you were 13 to 18, did we think about what are our leadership skills? What are our personalities? What do we want to do? And we might have thought, oh, I want to be a veterinarian or a doctor or, whatever. But was that where our personality was? Was that where we had the strengths and traits and talent to do that? So at 13, some of these students who were 13, it was 13 to 18, they were able to do a DISC personality test that Leslie is a certified provider for. And it was an introduction to develop the skills necessary for students, sorry about that, to build future leaders and also look at how they could start their own business. So they learned effectively to apply their leadership, teamwork, and business concepts that will impact their lives, jobs, careers, and communities. So it was so impressive because I actually heard that we did a Shark Tank at the end, and I heard their presentations. And I went the very first day and I shared my story of growing up on the reservation, not a lot of hope, not a lot of opportunity, told that I was never going to be successful, that I was just going to be a drunk like everybody else on the reservation. And I shared my story and said, look, you can be whatever you want to be. And we're giving you the tools and the ability to take that with you and succeed and do whatever you want to do. So they never said a word, not one single word for any 13 of the participants. Now, fast forward 4 weeks where they've gone through all of Leslie's programs and everything that she's brought. And they were laughing, they were standing up there presenting their ideas and what they were going to do. And I actually had to comment to them. I said, look what 4 weeks has done for you. It has taken you from being this quiet, shy, not assertive, not the ability to speak in front of anybody, to here you are 4 weeks later presenting what you want to do for your future. So mission accomplished. I mean, we really were able to take these young teenagers and move them to be able to have the skills and expertise to be leaders in their community. And that didn't stop there. So once they completed their 4 weeks, we got to match them up with an employer so that they would be mentored. We paid for it so that the employer didn't have any risk other than mentoring our youth for 3 full weeks after they finished their program. It was exciting. I mean, testimonials for one who wanted to become an electrician. He said, you know, I never thought that all it had to go into becoming an electrician. I thought it was just, you know, take some pliers and plug some wires and you're going to be good and all of that whole piece. Well, that's not what it was. He learned from the bottom up. He learned about the parts. He learned about what he was able to do, what each of those individual parts were a component of. And he got to talk to electricians. There's probably, you know, 10 electricians that he got to be mentored by. That's just one example of a success story from our Building Future Leaders program, which wouldn't be possible without the support of many of you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jodi. Well, mission accomplished indeed. It's just fantastic. Now IPCF is proud for the small part that we played in bringing this unique opportunity to the youth of Livingston County and helping them become the leaders of Central Illinois of tomorrow. Well, finally, we're going to hear from Mary Campbell, co-founder of Dreams Are Possible. That's a job training program to prepare women for employment with a living wage. And she's going to share with us how IPCF has helped bring Dreams Are Possible to fruition and what a 2020 general grant from IPCF has meant for them. So, Mary?
Thanks, Dan. It says my network bandwidth is low. Can you hear me okay?
Doing good. We're doing good.
Okay, good. It's really windy out here in the country, and I was impressed with the two speakers from the rural areas that they're still able to project their voices well. So I actually have a little different twist that I thought about that I'd like to start with than I had actually put into my original notes. When we had our break from the earlier session today, I went out to walk the dogs, and it just struck me how much Illinois Prairie Community Foundation's role has been in so many of our small organizations across McLean County and beyond into the outlining areas, LeRoy and such. There are many programs in the community that are large, and those large programs generally have a full-time or half-time paid staff who is a grant writer. The organizations that I heard this morning, and including my own, there is no way that our organizations could have a staff person who is skilled and talented and able to commit all their time to writing a grant. And Illinois Prairie does for all our small organizations. It provides an opportunity for us to bring enriched activities to the people that we're serving that we wouldn't be otherwise able to do because we can't compete with a larger organization. So I think maybe you'll hear my passion for Illinois Prairie as I talk. Dreams Are Possible is indeed a very small program. Just we opened our doors mid-December of 2019. And then, of course, as you know, we all had to close our doors when the pandemic hit. But we were able to provide services. We've had continued in a variety of different formats to provide training opportunities to expose women to fields that are different than what they are currently working in. So many women with limited education will go into fields like cleaning houses or restaurant work or cleaning hotels, a lot of the service industry jobs. They never had the opportunity to hear about or be exposed to those fields which are often considered fields for guys to go into that pay much better. And so our goal is to expose them to them and to prepare them by offering a lot of basic math concepts, offering, if you're a woman in the trades, for example, you may be the only woman on the job. So we do a lot about what's it like, how do you handle yourself as a female in a male field? We have OSHA training provided for them. They get a 10-hour OSHA certificate of health and safety. So there are many things that we've been doing, but as we ramped up our program, we wanted to take the women out to the community to actually see on site what it would be like to be an apprentice at a labor hall or at the carpenters union or as an electrician or at the painters union. These women have not been exposed to those fields, and therefore it's such a large reach for them to even think that they might be able to compete. So we asked Illinois Prairie Community Foundation to provide resources for us to take these women to those sites. We had it all planned out. We were going to rent vans. We had all kinds of things set up. And of course, none of that could happen because by the time the women were at that point in the class, we had to shut down, and we could certainly not put a bunch of women into a van and take them to a labor hall where it was shut down anyway. So because Illinois Prairie is very flexible and willing to work with us, they've given us an extension on that use of the funds until I think the end of 2021 or something. So we will, heaven and earth, we will move it to get these experiences for the women. So what we had to do was be creative, and that your questions, Michelle, that you gave us when we broke out, be creative, be innovative, and we did a lot of those things. So we still provided not as cool an opportunity for them to see what the trades were, but we brought those individuals to our building and they told their story. They showed their video clips. They exposed them to what it was like to be an electrician with amazing entertainment to see what was going on. Of course, we've had to shrink our building down so that every person in a class, instead of offering it to 10 women at a time, we can only offer it to 5 so that they are physically distant and we have all the safety measures in place. Now we're looking at, okay, so maybe that's not safe enough with this new phase. And we're reaching out to people in the community who can help us put all of our teachers' training online, YouTube's, and I don't even know the language for all of it. And that's why we go to the people who are helping us. But I have a long history that I would like to, so that's a wonderful grant, and we got that under the general grant. I was involved with Bailey Sebastian in starting the Labyrinth Outreach Services program, and I think we have the reputation still of holding it. I'm trying to hold on to it, that we at Labyrinth were the only organization that got all 3 grants. We got the Women to Women, we got the Arts and Culture, and we got the general grant. And, that made such a difference in the ability to provide services to the women who were coming out of prison. And my favorite one was the Arts and Culture grant that was given to Labyrinth Outreach Services. We could not get that kind of money from some other source. If it weren't for Illinois Prairie being able to write a grant to them, we're not big enough, right? You have to have data to prove to get bigger funds. And Illinois Prairie provides us the opportunity to gather data by providing services. So the Arts and Culture grant was actually, as someone mentioned earlier, they got art supplies and other things like that. And we did that, but we did it with the women, and it turned into the most amazing sharing of a support group as the women painted and created a quilt that then was all woven together by someone else and now hangs on the wall at the Labyrinth House. So that experience provided for those women amazing opportunities that they never would have had. They never have had. And so those are just small amounts of money. I speak all the time about Illinois Prairie. I'm probably Greg and Michelle get tired of me sending people your way, but I speak about it to small organizations who are trying to get off the ground. Jan Turner with the community gardens, I kept telling her, go apply, go talk to them. They are now a member of, under the Illinois Prairie. We didn't have a 501c3 when we decided to dream big and start Dreams Are Possible. It takes a while to get that. And I'm not a patient person. I was not willing to wait for that to come. And because Illinois Prairie allows us to be under their umbrella, it gives us credibility that we would not otherwise have. And it allows for them to be our physical sponsor in the sense that any donation to Dreams Are Possible and the community garden and to the program started by Eddie Perkins that serves men who've been incarcerated, Encouraging Hope, I think is the full name of it. You know, they wouldn't have the ability to be a 501c3 as they stand, and we were not, and we're still waiting. You know, a year later, we're still waiting for that to come through from the state. So what Illinois Prairie provides is an opportunity for organizations to be creative. We talked about that this morning, to be think out of the box, recognize what a need is, whether it's in a small community in McLean County or whether it's a problem here in our area. Without Illinois Prairie there to help us get started, those needs would not be met. And so, you know, I can't say enough about the general grant. I encourage people to donate to Illinois Prairie, and I think it's a jewel. It's a jewel in our community that has allowed those of us who want to start programs to serve needs that we recognize. It's allowed us to do that, and our community is all better because of that. I think we've enriched our lives who are providing the services, but we've enriched the lives of many people. The women who come to Dreams Are Possible, some of them have gone on to Heartland Community College to their Ready to Work programs. Some of them are looking at the welding program at Heartland. Some of the women have found employment and some are still with us. It's difficult for those women to stay with us because they have the needs of their children. They also have their hours cut at work, and therefore they have almost no resources. So we've tried to use creatively some of the money that was in the Illinois Prairie General Grant to sustain them in other ways. We bought a freezer recently because we've networked with the Holy Trinity's food pantry. We've networked with them so that once a month we can go there and gather food collectively for the women and bring it back to the building, and then the women after class get to take it home. We've bought detergent and dishwashing and the things that everybody needs. And those, you know, I think the women were pleased with the food, but I have to tell you, I've heard from the staff that seeing laundry detergent on the table as something they could take home just blew them away. So I thank you, Illinois Prairie Community Foundation, and all of those in the community who support the work that you do, because we are a much better place to live in for all of us. So thank you.
And we thank you, Mary, and we think you're a jewel. And thank you for the kind words about Illinois Prairie Community Foundation and what you do, and have enabled us to play a small part in actually having people realize the value that their lives have, even if they've been dealt kind of a tough hand. And it inspires me, and hopefully inspires everybody that's listening. And one of the easiest ways that you can get involved in this work and in philanthropy in our community is by donating to IPCF's annual campaign, for which Mary Campbell just did a commercial that we can't really improve upon. But here to talk a little bit more and to try to add something, again, is our fearless leader, Aaron Hayes.
Thank you again, Dan. Earlier this year, the Illinois Prairie Community Foundation awarded competitive grants to 84 nonprofit programs in our 4-county community. 37 of those grants, including those just detailed by Barbara, Jodi, and Mary, were awarded as general grants. Over $62,000 in general grants was awarded to programs focusing on education, environment, health and wellness, and youth in 2020. So you might be wondering, how are these grants funded? Well, distributions from endowed funds held at the Community Foundation accounted for a little over half of the money awarded in general grants last year. But the remainder of the funding for those grants comes from our annual campaign. Last year, our annual campaign received $30,179 in gifts from people just like you in our community. Without these donations to our annual campaign, our general grants would have only awarded about half of what we ended up providing to local nonprofits. The need for funds to support grants to local nonprofits in our community is great. Last year, we received requests for nearly 3 times the amount of money available to award for general grants. If you'd like to see more people in our community receive assistance through nonprofits like Living Well United of LeRoy, the Boys and Girls Club of Livingston County, and Dreams Are Possible of Bloomington, then please consider making a gift to IPCF's annual campaign. As you can see from the slide here, there are many ways that you can make a gift to IPCF's annual campaign. Any gifts made before January 15th will help fund the 2021 general grants that will be awarded in May of next year. Just remember that 100% of the funds we raise will go towards our general grants. Let's see if we can hit $50,000 this year. So please consider helping us make that possible. Thank you. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Aaron. Well, we've finished all the hors d'oeuvres. The highlight, the main course of the Philanthropy Celebration, obviously, is recognition of the Philanthropists of the Year. Actually, many of the past recipients of this award are with us here today. I'm going to run down the list. I can't actually see, but I think many, if not all of them, are here. But I'll just list all the past winners. Jerry and Carol Ringer, Deanna Frauchi and Alan Bedell, Roger and Mary Hunt, Bob and Julie Dobsky, John and Jan Woolwend, John and Marilyn Fries, Daryl and Donna Hartwig, George and Myra Gordon, Dwayne and Tony Farrington, and most recently, Paul and Sandra Harmon. And man, when you think about the aggregate good work that has been done as the result of the contributions and largesse of those couples, it's breathtaking. And really, I have no further words to express on behalf of the community our appreciation for what you have done. It is truly amazing. It is truly kind of a definition of Central Illinois and our counties here served by IPCF. So congratulations, and again, just the biggest thank you possible to all of those past recipients. And one of them, my friend Myra Gordon, is going to introduce this year's Philanthropists of the Year. And first, Myra, you can start with Susan Hoblit of Atlanta, who is the recipient of the Philanthropy Award for a resident outside of the Twin Cities. Myra Gordon.
Thank you so much, Dan. Before I introduce Susan Hoblit, I would just like to thank everyone who has been involved with Illinois Prairie Community Foundation. I first joined the board, I think about 18 years ago, and at that point, our grants totaled about $12,000 a year. So all of your gifts throughout the years have made an increasing amount of grants available to wonderful community organizations like the ones we've heard from today. And I think this has just been such a meaningful way to give locally, to be able to see the results of your giving. So I am truly touched by the presentations today and by the support that the Community Foundation has enjoyed from so many of you throughout the years. I first met Susan Hoblit when I was a member of the IPCF board. She came when our offices were over on Broadway in a bank building that has long since been torn down, to tell us about how much the Community Foundation meant to her in her philanthropic giving. And it was a time when IPCF was really struggling to keep our doors open. And it meant so much to me, and I think to the whole board, to hear Susan's story about how IPCF was able to help her facilitate the wonderful things that she wanted to give to. Then later on, I had the great opportunity to work with the Atlanta Betterment Commission, which Susan and some wonderful people in Atlanta pulled together to begin making local grants in the Atlanta area. And we had some great fun and some wonderful pie nights at the Palms Grill, meeting and discussing what could be done in a small town such as Atlanta. Later on, the Atlanta Betterment Commission went on to create an endowment for Atlanta, the Endow Atlanta Fund. And that fund has given thousands of dollars for local grants in Atlanta. And it serves as a model for rural philanthropy throughout the area. Susan's philanthropic efforts are amazing and touch so many areas of our local communities. She has served on the Baby Folds Board of Directors for 9 years and was instrumental in creating the Festival of Trees, which is going on right now, as a matter of fact, for a few more hours, I think, this year. She co-chaired the festival from 1994 to 99. She served on the IPCF Board of Directors for 9 years, including 2 years as chair of our board. And currently she is chair of the Lincoln College Board of Trustees, which she has served since 2010. But many of the things to love about Susan's philanthropy are what we might call little things, except they're not really little at all. She's been the organist for her church for 25 years, helped to restart the Atlanta Community Concert Band and has played in it for 29 years, and helped to create and continue the Atlanta Flower Buds group that plants flowers every summer to make the town of Atlanta more attractive. She has supported each of these efforts with her financial gifts, and she's also created scholarships at ISU and Lincoln College. Susan's family has a long history in Atlanta and Logan County. Her ancestors came to America in 1746 and were homesteaders in the Logan County area. When Atlanta was established in 1853, Susan's family became bankers, farmers, carpenters, and public service volunteers. Susan has followed in their footsteps, helping to preserve the best of life in rural America through her example. Rural philanthropy is so important to rural areas, and my friend Susan Hoblit is a wonderful example of a rural philanthropic leader. It gives me great pleasure to present Susan Hoblit with the 2020 IPCF Rural Philanthropist of the Year Award. Congratulations, Susan.
Thank you, Myra, for those kind comments. And in Illinois Prairie, Thank you so much for this honor and for this beautiful plaque. When I was about 7 years old, I heard a Bible story that changed the way I looked at life. That Bible story was the Good Samaritan. So in my little 7-year-old mind, this said, if someone needs help, you should help them if you can. So I just took that up and carried it with me. And I thought, I want to be like that. I want to be the Good Samaritan. So I think maybe I didn't even know about the word philanthropy, but it started maybe back then. And my concept of philanthropy is basically people helping people based on the story of the Good Samaritan. But I found out that there is a lot more to it. As a very young girl, I started helping people and around the community. My dad would get a call and that would say, well, we're way behind on the gardens this year and we don't know what we're going to do. We can't keep up. My dad would always say, do not worry about that. I will send the kids right in. So we loaded up and in we went, and we just helped people, and we met new people, and we talked, we worked side by side with these people. We joked around, and when it was all said and done, it was fun. It was philanthropy, and it was fun. And I also love that philanthropy involves teamwork. And a good friend of mine at the Baby Fold knocked on my door in 1994 and said, hey, Susan, I have an idea. It's an idea to start a fundraiser for the Baby Fold, and that will be called the Festival of Trees. So I said, sure. Turned out, didn't have much a clue what we were doing. We needed help, and sure enough, God provided us with a wonderful team. Maybe you've heard the expression, together each accomplishes more. That is a team. And festival workers were a team, and we truly believed we were stronger as a team than we were as individuals. And that team, that strong team, launched the Festival of Trees for the Baby Fold in 1994, and it's in its 27th year. So it's an honor to be part of that. As time went on, I was lucky to become connected with Illinois Prairie Community Foundation, and I just became aware of how powerful philanthropy is. It was just amazing. I felt like at Illinois Prairie, I found a new team. Yay, team, go team. And I was just surrounded by examples of people helping people. How good is that? It was here that I learned, as Myra talked about the power of an endowment. An endowment, if you can pull it off, is a very powerful thing. And this was swirling around in my head for months. We're a little farming community. We're not a rich community. I don't think there's any way we can do this, but this thought would not go away. Finally, I said to myself, okay, I've got to call Myra Gordon and Illinois Prairie and talk to them about this crazy idea. So I did that. They listened. They got involved. And within 2 years, Endow Atlanta existed and is going strong today. I cannot think of enough words to say thank you, Myra, for walking with me along this path of philanthropy. And thank you, Illinois Prairie, for making so many things possible. I'm honored to be on the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. And again, congratulations. And now we're going to hear about Arthur and Camille Taylor of Bloomington, recipients of the Philanthropy Award for residents of Bloomington Normal. So take it away again, Myra.
Well, I'm also very honored today to present our Illinois Prairie Community Foundation's Philanthropist of the Year Award for Bloomington Normal to Arthur and Camille Taylor. IPCF wisely won't give me enough time to tell you about all of the special ways Camille and Arthur have given to our communities. Camille has been active for many years with the YWCA of McLean County as a board member, chairman of the foundation board, and chair of the Wings Award committee. She's an active participant in efforts to draw the community, our communities, into study circles and listening circles on the topic of racism, and has co-chaired the Not in Our Schools group, which has drawn numerous young people into active work to bridge the racial divide that is so harmful in our communities. Camille has a nearly 20-year involvement with Not in Our Town, whose mission is to stop hate, address bullying, and make Bloomington Normal a safe, more inclusive community. Camille has also been an active member with me and the League of Women Voters, and she co-chairs our Drinks and Dialogue events, which are very enjoyable and wonderful learning opportunities. She has won numerous awards, including the YWCA Women of Distinction for Education Award, the ISU College of Education Distinguished Alumni Award, and the City of Bloomington's Martin Luther King Award. A Unit 5 educator and counselor for 35 years, Camille retired in 2012. During her Unit 5 career, she served as president of the Unit 5 Education Association, and she also managed somehow to find time to teach evening classes as an ISU non-tenured track faculty member in the special education and curriculum and instruction departments. She was also instrumental in helping us set up Illinois Prairie's wonderful Youth Engaged in Philanthropy group. Camille and her husband, Arthur, are a team that work tirelessly for our community. Arthur retired from a career at State Farm in 2017, where he had positions that included serving as Director of Diversity Inclusion for Claims Services and serving as a manager for employees in 16 states. Locally, Arthur has served as the past chair of the Public Safety and Community Relations Board, created by the City of Bloomington to help mediate community concerns about the police. And he continues as a member of that board. He has served on the selection committee for the new chief of police in Bloomington. He's a past president of First Christian Church, where both he and Camille are past deacons, and where he was named honored servant. He has provided diversity training and mentoring for numerous local groups, including the Boys and Girls Club, Sunrise Rotary, and the Unit 5 school administrators. Arthur has received the Alpha Omicron Pi Outstanding Community Service Award. Both Arthur and Camille can be called social justice warriors for our community, and never has their kind of volunteerism and philanthropy been more needed than it is right now. It is my great honor to present to Arthur and Camille Taylor Illinois Prairie's Award for 2020 Philanthropist of the Year in Bloomington Normal.
First of all, I'd like to thank God for all the blessings that we have and for guiding us to try to bless others, because we do believe to whom much is given, much is required. I'd like to thank the selection committee of the Illinois Prairie Community Foundation for honoring us with this award and for thinking that we were worthy of your selection. I'd like to thank Myra and George Gordon. Myra actually wrote the nomination after consulting with George, but we consider this an honor because we know what a dynamic duo they are in this community. So we consider that an honor to be nominated and thought of by them. We'd also like to thank our family and friends who are here today to join us and support us. We feel your love always. I'm going to turn the camera. This is my mom. She's almost asleep. She's been waiting. Mommy, can you look right there at the camera? My mom is 94 years old and she lives with us. She taught me when I was very young 2 very important lessons. The first one was to treat other people the way I wanted to be treated. And the other one was to always do the best that I could. I have had a lot of education over the years, but none of that has been a better education than what my mom taught me with those 2 lessons. And I have tried to live by her words all of my life. This year, I learned 2 African proverbs that I also think are very significant. One is, and I think they have relation to this award, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So consequently, anything that we do in this community is in conjunction with the many, many outstanding not-for-profits and other organizations and other groups that just give us the opportunity to serve other people in the community. It is always a group effort, a collaborative effort. Like Susan said, it's a team. It's never just one person, but we are thankful to be recognized today, even though we really are just a reflection of the work that so many other groups are doing.
I too want to give much thanks to the Illinois Prairie Community Foundation for the recognition for Philanthropists of the Year. It's an honor that when you've read the list of individuals who have also won this award in our community, we're just honored to be in the same breath that those people who've preceded us and who have done so much work in our community were honored, as well as Camille and I. Camille and I are a team. We've known each other since the 2nd grade, and we have worked together on many projects that have come across our community in the matter of race relations and in trying to heal wounds, trying to encourage dialogue and to seek solutions to complex problems that face our community. And in these trying times that we are in today, it's needed even more than ever. We have been warriors in the sense that we have tried to remain on the battlefield and to try to make the place that we're in better. We stand on the shoulders of giants. I'm the product of a Pullman porter and a railroad waiter who during the Great Migration sought a better life for themselves and their families by moving north and to try to address the issues that they were deprived of when they lived in other places. I'm the product of a proud father and mother who did all that they could to make our lives better for me and my siblings and for the rest of our family. I'm the product of a proud aunt who took me to my first protest when I was 12 years old, and she stuck a sign in my hand, and I had no clue what the protest was about. But what she told me and what was instilled in me is that what we want to do is, quote unquote, leave a place better than what you found it. I've tried to live by those words, and the work that we have done, not only in the Bloomington Normal community, with us facilitating dialogue on many subjects and many topics, but particularly those around diversity and inclusion, and continuing to have dialogue on difficult topics that need to be discussed. We've tried to live by those words. And I also try to live by a quote that Dr. Martin Luther King said on many occasions. And that quote is, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." What Camille and I have tried to do in the work that we have done in our community is to try to drive out the darkness and to create some light. That light can be seen in the hearts of anyone who is trying to make their community better. And what we have tried to do is to make our community better. So we thank you for this prestigious award, and the Gordons who nominated us for this award. And we thank all of those who preceded us as we hope to continue in your legacies and continue to try to make this place a better place and leave it better than what we found it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Camille and Arthur, and again, Susan, and congratulations to all of you. The honors are obviously so very, very well deserved. Let's everybody give them a round of applause again, virtually. Now, normally, you know, this event is held at a hotel, and we enjoy one of the best lunches of the year. It's terrific. And normally you would have bought a ticket to that lunch. Well, in these days of COVID, we had this program today at no cost to you other than your time. We'd have charged you if we could have figured out a way to do it. We're not afraid of raising money. But I'm going to invite you to think about what you paid last year or what you would have paid, and let's make that a donation to kind of kick off this annual campaign in lieu of the attendance fee. And let me remind you that 100% of all the donations to the annual campaign support the general grants that are awarded to nonprofits like Living Well United and the Boys and Girls Club of Livingston County and Dreams Are Possible that we heard about and were inspired hearing about today. And you can mail your check, hopefully the first of a couple, to the IPCF office, or call the office to donate via credit card, or you can donate online. And your donation will make a difference in the community by, as Myra said, connecting people who care with causes that matter. Now, as a bonus, we're going to be posting recordings of the nonprofit workshop from this morning I talked about, and this Philanthropy Celebration. We'll post them to the IPCF YouTube channel. That'll probably be tomorrow, or at the latest, the beginning of next week. So you can watch them again or see any part you might have missed if you were distracted for a second. Links to the video will be posted on the IPCF website at illprairiecf.org, and share them with all the community, all your friends, all your neighbors. Everybody needs to hear about these wonderful award recipients today and all of the wonderful programs that are being funded by people that care in our community through the Illinois Prairie Community Foundation. Thanks to all the participants of the webinar today. Thank you to all of our attendees. I really enjoyed, was really inspired hearing about what's happening. We hope you are too, hearing about what the Illinois Prairie Community Foundation has done this year in the community. And it's a mystery, but be on the lookout for some good things that are coming in the spring. You know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but hopefully, we're all going to be back together in person again next year. And in the meantime, all the blessings of the Great Spirit to you. Please stay safe that's going to do it for today. Thank you all very much.